Hey Crusaders, Daryl here. You're looking at the back end of my 2003 Mitsubishi Montero Limited. As you can tell, I have chaos right here. I'm not one to embrace chaos. And with an upcoming trip on the Florida Adventure Trail, I need to reorganize the back end of my truck. One of the reasons I want to reorganize the back end of my truck is at the Save Expo, which was a couple months ago, I was fortunate enough in one of the raffles to win 2 front runner storage boxes. And I'm about to unload the back end of this truck, take measurements, rebuild boxes and trays and slides for my refrigerator so I can incorporate the front runner boxes to maybe help tidy things up. I also recently purchased a portable pizza oven, which is going to be a game changer on the trails. Instead of always having ramen noodles or barbecue or what have you, and we can actually make some pizzas on the trails, especially when the kids come along. Not necessarily my kids because they're adults, but some of my other Crusaders have little kids, and I'm sure they're going to enjoy the pizza. So I need to take measurements of that. Also my camp kitchen, not necessarily the kitchen, but the actual cooktop, my little Coleman 2-burner. I have to make room for that, and just everything else. So come along with me as I clean out the chaos and try and make things look more presentable and more spacious once everything is in its right place. Okay guys, so here's what's left of inside the back of my Montero. So as you can see, I sort of have add-on components. So like this drawer, I did originally. So you can see from here down and here down was all the first box that I made. Then I went solar, so I have a AGM battery inside the box. So what I want to do is I may deconstruct this whole system, but you can definitely tell from the one trip I just came back from, I actually made this into a bed pallet, and I had stuff set up here, so I just slept right here. All right, Crusaders, this is what we're looking at right now. So this was my base model. There was doors on here, but I was in a hurry for one of our trips, and I just sort of cheaply and roughly put them on. So this is what it looks like inside there. I have an L bracket which is connected to the floor of the truck, and back there, it's hard to see it, it's out of focus in the back, but there's a turnbuckle that is connected to I guess it would be like a luggage tie down location. And the same is, you have the L bracket there, and then back there's the turnbuckle. So that's what's keeping this down. So for those who don't know much about the Montero, especially the Mitsubishi Montero Limited, is this thing can actually seat 7 people. The 2 in the front, 3 in the back, and then back here, before I removed it, there was a seat that comes up, and that sat another 2. So this is a whole nother set of chaos in here. So as you can tell, I use it for some of my stuff that's not used as much, like my boots, some fluids. This right here was the remote, wireless remote for my winch controller, but now it's just the original winch controller that's cabled. So I may just throw this up in the glove box also with the wireless, but I don't use it a whole lot. So this is what we have so far, and whatever I do, I don't want to go past this line right here, because that's the fold line, so I can get into the storage container underneath. Alright, so that's where we're at. If you can tell, here is all some of the wood that's come out of the back, my tent, recovery gear, my table, which I cut out so I can have a sink in it, my tool bag. Tool bag is right there. My air pump and my inflator hose system is there. I'll do a video on my inflator hose system. It's not a Morphlate, it's not a Fast Flate, it's a Adventure Crusader Flate. And of course there's my refrigerator. Alright guys, let's see what happens next. The front runner boxes. Alright, so they're gonna go in like that, because I don't think that can fit. Oh man, holy smokes folks, look at that. That's money right there. That is money right there. It fits perfect. The only thing I would need to do is, since I have 2, I can bring it up a little bit so it doesn't hit the back of the seat here, so I can stack them on top of each other. Or if I bring it out and put it like that, I can stack them. And then over here would have room for my camp stove, my pizza oven, or bring it so it's resting against the wheel well, and then have room for the pizza oven or camp stove there. So I think that's money either way. So I guess I'll get it figured out. Okay, Crusaders, I'm going to take a break real quick, and I want to plug some folks that I truly believe in and are outstanding people and great ambassadors for overlanding and also the Florida Adventure Trail. First, we have John Burkmeyer with Sunshine State Adventure Company. We also have Brad and his family with Overlandaroos. If you notice, I'm wearing their shirt. Also, we have Zach with Sunshine State Vikings, which he and his wife are fantastic people. And we also have Asia with Baptism Overland, who puts out quality content. I hope in the future my videos can be as badass as his. And also there's Danon with Adventures with Danon. So after you like and subscribe to this, make sure you go over and like and subscribe to my friends' channels also. Okay, now that I've plugged some friends for YouTube because they do a great job, back to this project. Okay, Crusaders, this is what all my kitchen stuff was in before. So just one of these black and yellow totes. And I gotta say, these totes are some of the best totes out there. So luckily, I'm gonna try and put most of this stuff in the front runner boxes. So let's see what we can do. Okay, I guess what I'll do is unload this box first, and then we'll see what we have to put back into the front runner cases and see how everything stores properly. And I might be able to reduce some of the load also. Like, I don't think I need 2 frying pans. I may not need any frying pans because normally when I ride with Steve Sickler, he brings his Blackstone, so we can always fry up on the Blackstone. Or if I'm lucky enough to go with Asia or Brad, I think they have a Blackstone also. Seriously? Guess we scored with the boxes fitting. We didn't quite score with the camp stove. So, alright, no big deal. That just means we'll sit the boxes like this, and then the camp stove can pull sideways. Now the downside to that is the camp stove makes a lot of noise, rattles and stuff. So more than likely I'll be putting foam inside the camp stove, hopefully to reduce some of the noise and the rattling as we go down the road. I know I have, there it is. The good old shelf liners, non-skid shelf line. Measuring cups, don't really know why I need it, but if I happen to be out on the trail and actually make dough on the trail, I guess I'll have a measuring cup. Kitchen shears, as you can tell, these are those cheap ones from Harbor Freight. I think when you buy something you get them for like 99 cents, so I may have to upgrade my shears. Just some cheap Farbre ware tongs. Cheap spatula. Of course, you need your connector regulator for your Coleman camp stove, but I do have the hose for my Blackstone, so I'm going to see if I can adapt that. That way I have one of those 5-pound gas tanks. I use that, so, but I'll put it in here. Spatula. A steak knife. Little butane torch. Yeah. A can opener that you can tell has been used a lot. That'll be good for right now. Let's see if we can get the lid on. Okay, as we come close to time to going on a trip, I'll bring in probably coffee, spices for cooking, so on and so forth. I can even stick some more dry goods, like if I do pizza, I can do my pizza sauce in there if I don't make it on the trail. But when you're on the trail, simple is easy. So of course that one of my go-to favorites for seasoning is Everglades seasoning. So if you haven't tried it, man, in Florida you can get it at Publix grocery stores, and it's like all-purpose seasoning for anything you want to cook. So I can throw that in there also. Not sponsored by Everglades. I'm not sponsored by Publix, but it's companies that I trust, and I patron those businesses, so I don't have a problem talking about it. All right, Crusaders, this is what we have going on so far. Don't mind this. This is all just a mess. So I ended up putting the boxes the long ways instead of the width. That way I can put the camp stove in here, and you notice it's pretty tight. Installed one of the just a little inexpensive Harbor Freight hard eye. Took a ratchet strap, actually cut it down, and if you notice, I cut it on an angle and then melted the ends. That way it's not going to fray in the future. If you notice, I put my pizza oven right here on top. It still wiggles a little bit, so I think what I'm going to do, so I don't crush it downward, I'm going to get maybe some bungee cords and go zigzag. If I can't find, I had a motorcycle helmet mesh. If I can find that, I'll use that, and that'll keep it secure. My Gazelle T3 fits right here between them, and then underneath you'll notice I have my 5-pound propane tank. So I just gotta figure out a way. It's in there right there, but I think I'm gonna do a hard eye here and a hard eye somewhere in there, and then just use like the rubber. I've already stretched it and it's perfect, so that'll keep it stationary here when the T3 will keep it pushed down. So I think what I'm gonna do, I have all kinds of, this is still empty, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about this. And then I still have this space here, and this space here. And of course, I think the refrigerator is going to go right back up there. So it's just a matter of coming up with what I think I'm going to put my recovery gear in here like I had before. And then maybe over here, instead of a toolbox, I may have a shorter, like a skinnier tote that I may throw my tools in there instead of having the toolbox here. That way I can have my inflator system here, and then over here I have my shower. That's right, a shower. Okay guys, so I talked about a shower, and here it is. This is my Cobalt 24 volt battery powered 2-gallon. It's a chemical pump sprayer, but what I did was I had the original hose, and then I connected, see it right there? I connected a sink sprayer. So you just turn it on. I don't have any water in there, but it pumps it out and then it'll spray water. So very excited about that, because you may have already seen my video about my new kick-ass awning, shower awning. So I'll be using that with my kick-ass shower awning. Plus, I can also wash dishes with it. Okay, Crusaders, so things changed. So as I was starting to put this stuff back into here, I realized the table was still out and I didn't make any arrangements for the table. So I removed the camp stove and put it under there and put the table right there. So I was given lemons and I made some pretty delicious lemonade. So now I'll go ahead, put the camp stove under there. I have some other items that I can put in there so it doesn't slide around. And that bottom front runner case is still empty, so I got to figure out what I want to do with that. But I still have the pizza oven, the table with my little sink that I cut out. Got my T3. I got my little 5-gallon propane tank. I just put some little hard eyes with the rubber bungee cord, which is going to be fine. And the T3's on top of it, so it's going to push downward pressure. So put my refrigerator back in here, get that plugged in, and then start filling in the gaps. Recovery gear. I'm probably going to move the propane tank for a few minutes so I can get into this chaos before I get too far. So the shower is going to go here. So man, I can't wait to use that. I don't mind using the big body towelettes, like the big dude wipes, but that's gonna be awesome. I love a shower. And of course the battery with the solar controller. I think it's coming along. I think I'm ready to go. All right, Crusaders, here's my under storage bin. I gotta wipe it out still, but can y'all see this? That was a big owie. Look at that. It goes uphill. It's hard to tell if it goes uphill, but watch this. Oh yeah. See? Yeah. It's supposed to be like this over here. So I'll tell you about this. Alright guys, so here's the story about what happened with the underside of my truck. I was invited to go on a trail ride with John Berkmeyer. which is always awesome to go on a trail ride with him. He does a fantastic job leading a ride. And today's ride, we were going to go down a dried river bottom. The water table is low, so you can actually run the river bottom. So as we're going down the river, there's a lot of trees that were down, and at one point we actually had to go into the river to get around this tree. So the going around it the first time was fine. I hit the right line, no problems, but on the way back, not so good. I must have drove offline, and the back end of my truck slammed down on a huge piece of lime rock and just pushed in the bottom side of that cargo bin where the third row seat usually sits. So that's the story behind that. It's waterproof. There's no puncture into the body or anything, so I made sure of that. But yeah, that's the story behind that, and I wouldn't change it for a world, because anytime you go with John, it's always an adventure. All right, guys, so it's coming along. Probably the next part is going to be me finishing up. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. I know it's gonna make me feel a whole lot better, so I don't live in chaos. Still got to figure out what's going to be in that bottom front runner. So we'll see. Maybe it's going to be groceries, which is always a good thing, because I could actually put the groceries on top and then the cookware on the bottom. So that'll be fine, and I think we'll be good to go. All right, guys. We'll check in next, and hopefully we'll have the finished product. Okay, guys, this is pretty much the finished product. So as you notice, I have my refrigerator over here plugged in, still on the slide. All I did was remove that one section that I used temporarily as a sleeping pad. All right, Crusaders, let me know what you think. I know it works for me. It's not the best, or it's not perfect, but I think everything is accessible, everything's secured, and like life, everything is evolving. So Crusaders, don't forget to like this video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe. And I can't wait to see you guys out on your crusade, and maybe we'll cross paths and we can have a crusade together. God bless everyone, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.